What's up everyone, I'm Duncan Knee-Deep from Team We Disney, just here to remind you that you can still pick up an MBL t-shirt in the link in the description down below to support the teams of the MBL. It's a fantastic shirt and you should definitely check it out.
Welcome back MBL fans to week 7 for the preview and pick'ems. This week Jason can't be with me, so this time I've brought Kabu along with me.
Hello.
Quickly we're going to go over how we did last week. So my massive ego is going to come into play again because I'm counting this as a perfect sweep, because what's happening with Team CyberBaz and Dreamball, we're giving them a draw until they reface. I think they said week 8 they're going to face each other. So until then we're counting that as a draw, but myself, the only person yet again to get a clean record. So I'm 26-9 now. Other notable mentions are Wits with 24-11, Toby with 23-12, and then Jason with 21-14, and then Juan with 20-15, and then everyone else is around about the 19-16 level.
I mean, most of us joined halfway, or like a couple weeks into the season, but that's fine.
Yeah, that's a fair enough shout, but I'm still significantly better than you. So, first match, we got Team Subs versus Team Flawless. So, Harvey and me have chosen Team Subs, while Juan, Wits, Jason, Tailwind, Ave, yourself, Kabu, Ben, have chosen Team Flawless. So why do you think Team Flawless have got this?
Because how aggressive their team is, just all of their models are pretty much absolute monsters, and I'm not sure if Subs will be able to handle the just aggressive playstyle that Flawless has been going with. They seem to rely a bit on offensive pressure themselves, but Flawless's offense is going to be a lot stronger. So they might have to fall back on more defensive plans this time.
That's, yeah, a very good point. Team Flawless also have great defensive options. I know I chose Team Subs, but they've got 2 redirections, they've got a lot of speed control, so they can obviously manipulate that to their will. But I can honestly see Typhlosion playing a very big part here if they can deal with Mamoswine. Mamoswine, I feel, is their biggest threat to Team Subs' team. It's not like they don't have enough answers to it. Hit him on top with the Intimidate and the fighting type stab. Clefable with maybe redirection so Lucario can get off moves. Wide Guard, Crobat, and then something else can take it on. There's a lot of stuff that I feel Team Subs have in their arsenal to take them on.
Yeah, I can definitely agree that Typhlosion, on paper at least, puts in a lot of work versus Flawless, but I feel like they will recognize that during team building, and they'll be able to come up with a couple things to take care of it. Maybe something crazy like a Hydro Pump Salamence, maybe?
Easy, yeah, they can easily slap on a Water MZ to deal with it. That can easily nuke it outright. Things like Shift Tree they can like do similar things with and nuke it. So yeah, that's a very good statement to make, at least. So next up we got Team Juice versus Team CyberBaz, and this is near enough a clean sweep except from you. You're the one sole user for Team Juice, and I want to know why you're that confident and that you've locked them.
I believe that this is going to be the game that Juice is going to completely dominate, because when you compare the teams, you see that there's a good amount of power on CyberBaz, but then you look at the power that Juice has, and it's pretty much no contest. There's a lot more, like, Volcanion alone beats out, I would argue, half of CyberBaz's team. Okay,
that's a fair enough argument, but I feel with what I'm going to say is going to be the reason why everyone else chose CyberBaz. It comes down to, one, I think the mental game. Team CyberBaz are 6th. They are literally last place in for the top cut, so they need to get this win to secure themselves into that top cut. Team Juice recently, they've been playing very tilted, and in between that, and you say they got big power with Team Juice, yeah, easy big power off the bat, but Team CyberBaz's way of winning is redirection, setup, and what's Volcanion going to do to a Raichu and a Mega Aerodactyl? Follow me with a Raichu, setup, maybe a Quiver Dance with a Volcarona. After that you got Giga Drain Volcarona, so you can actually do damage to the Volcanion. You got Bug Buzz, so you can easily take out Crook. You got Fire Move, so you can easily take out Aegislash. And then the main problem is, well, the main problem to your team that you can't really take out is Tornadus, but then as I said, you got Raichu and you've got Aerodactyl for that. So in between them three alone, they've got a lot of options for it.
They do, but I still think that... I think one thing that might come into play, actually, is Vivillon. I could definitely see Team Juice preparing for that Volcarona by running something like Powder on the Vivillon, and just using that to negate an attack. It's definitely a risky move. If it goes for any other type of move, then they're in trouble. But I could definitely see them trying to go for that play and catching CyberBaz completely off guard, then probably being able to deal with the Volcarona on that same turn, and then that's like a one big powerhouse already taken care of. And similar things with the other Pokemon. I could definitely see them bringing Stealth Rocks again, because I believe they've done that already on the Crocodile to weaken the Aerodactyl and break Raichu's potential Focus Sash, something like that. I could definitely see Chestnut doing very well. Obviously, it will pretty much get destroyed by Aerodactyl if it's running any kind of flying move. And it's not good against Volcarona, but it definitely still has some potential in this match.
Not good against Jirachi, not good against Nidoqueen, not good against Bruxish. Granted, we haven't seen Bruxish yet, but I'm just giving examples. So let's go on to the next game, I guess. So then we have Team Mythical versus Team Not Schooled, and I don't want to sound horrible to Not Mythical, but it's kind of not a surprise at this point. The whole problem I see with Team Mythical is they have too many crazy ideas and their team isn't centralized enough. They don't have a set game plan. I know sometimes, like, there's another team that we'll talk about later, and I'll bring it up then, that do have a very set game plan that aren't doing well, but it just seems very much a hodgepodge of ideas.
I can definitely see that. They've got a lot of these mons. Like, if you asked me to find like two Pokemon on Team Mythical side that you would consider the glue, I'd be very, very hard pressed. I could maybe say Garchomp and Cresselia, but those aren't really glue so much as just really good Pokemon.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. A lot of time they rely on Medicham and then Garchomp to do big damage or to set up a win for them, but then they just don't protect it well enough. They'll let it die, they'll sack it off, they'll maybe get caught off guard by a move they don't see coming, whereas Not Schooled have been playing really well this season. They've been playing phenomenally well. Last season, not doing too well. This season, playing very well. Obviously, they've had a bit of luck on their side, but they've had luck for and against them, especially how they played last week, except from maybe a couple questionable plays with how they played around the noon. They played that game very well. They played it safely, and I feel like that's a very good way to deal with Mythical, because they've shown they've got crazy ideas, and maybe if you do get caught off guard by stuff like the Trick or Treat into the Z move or the Z Stockpile Guzzlord, as long as they play it safe, I feel like they'll easily be able to come out on top.
I can definitely agree with that. I think that Not Scald has... they don't have, obviously, as many crazy things they can do, but they have plenty of very solid things they can do. Whereas Mythical's crazy ideas would work fantastically in this one situation, but that's one situation out of millions of potential different circumstances.
Yeah, that's like the main downfall. Granted, Garchomp, their Mega Garchomp at least, isn't going to be able to be so much as a threat this week. They got Ice Punch on the Medicham, Ice Beam with Nidoking, they got the Guzzlord, they got the Rabombi, they've got the Glalie, and they've got their own Garchomp that can easily carry something like the Dragium Z with Draco Meteor or even Dragon Claw. That'll be able to do a number on them. So that's not going to be able to come as much, and Buzzwole is going to have to play a bit more carefully around it. They obviously, as I said, they got the Rabombi, they can carry easily a HP flying onto something, so it's not going to want to stay in as much. Celesteela is going to have to be scared of the Magnet Pull with the Magnezone, but aside from that, I feel like Team Schooled are going to be able to play around it.
Definitely. One thing that Not Scald should definitely watch out for is that, unless I'm mistaken, Cresselia does actually outspeed Buzzwole with base speed wise.
Yes.
So I could definitely see one of those crazy ideas we've been talking about being a very fast Cresselia, which outspeeds a significant portion of Not Scald's team, actually. So if that comes out, then we could be in a bit of a different situation.
Yeah, the biggest problem I see with Team Not Schooled's team is that they got very middle of the road speed. There's nothing significantly fast except from the Raichu, and then there's not really enough there to abuse Trick Room. It's all like base 90 to 100, well 80 to 100 speed, which is a very weird speed tier for this kind of format where you're either relying to outspeed everything or underspeed everything.
You're right, it is very middle of the road. It's too slow for fast offense. It is too fast for bulky Trick Room. That's going to be a bit of an issue here, especially if the Trick Room Cresselia does happen, or the fast Cresselia, because either way, that does a big number on the team.
So next match, we have Team Dreamball versus Team Jamie, which, just looking at this, was a huge surprise to me when I saw this slide. I honestly thought the Team Dreamball love was going to be in there normally sweeping the boards. I was fully expecting me to be a crazy man for picking Team Jamie, but then, as I'll get into it a little bit in a second, it's not that much of a surprise. So Harvey, Juan, Wits, me, Tailwind, Jason and Ave choose Team Jamie, whilst Kabu, Ben and the fans choose Team Dreamball. And as I was saying with Team Jamie, I was saying it was a bit surprising seeing that much love for them, but then rewatching their games recently and rewatching the whole series, the last couple of weeks they've been playing super dominantly. They've been playing absolutely well, and they've been showing dominating wins. And Dreamball, I can't say that they haven't, because the ways they've won are unique every single time, and they've been playing very well themselves. But maybe it's a case of them having a week off. Maybe might put them a bit on tilt. Not on tilt, but obviously they've had a week off with CyberBaz and other stuff, personal life stuff. So maybe just getting out of the groove for 1 week, maybe give them that much of an edge to give them the win.
I can definitely agree with that. However, I would also have to argue that Dreamball is a very scary team to go against, and the one mon that I'm definitely looking at, and I know this is going to sound crazy when I say it, just like when I was talking about Chestnut, but Tangela. Now, one of the big things, of course, that Jamie has is sand offense, and there is very little that a T-Tar or an Excadrill is going to be doing to a Tangela, which could then allow Dreamball to set up one of their own mons that would be weak to those two, or at least Excadrill, maybe something like the Mega Audino, maybe like a Calm Mind Mega Audino, something like that, and then just run through. I don't even think Tangela's been brought yet, but I really think that this is a match where it could shine. I know there's a Victini right there, Yanmega right there, Dragalge and Rotom Fan right there, but I still think, despite that Tangela still has a very good matchup here, and the rest of the team as well.
Oh no, I definitely agree with you. Eviolite Tangela, has base 120 defense. Once you slap an Eviolite on that, follow me support, they use it in the same way that Team Drinking Birds have been using Blastoise like last week, and just follow me every turn. I can easily see them doing a lot of work. Mega Absol is another mon they haven't brought recently, but with base 170 attack, base 140 special attack, 115 speed, that's a big threat. That outspeeds a lot of stuff outside of obviously the sand mode, and then that can just easily chunk stuff like the Victini. It can do a lot of damage to Mega Blastoise. A Flamethrower is just going to destroy the Yanmega and the Superior, so they've got a lot of options there. But you mentioned the sand. Team Jamie have been very reluctant to bring the sand. They're using that as an expectation almost.
Yeah, I can see that, but I wouldn't put it past Team Jamie to say, alright, we haven't been bringing sand. Everyone has been thinking, oh, they want us to prep for sand so they can bring something that beats that prep, so we're going to counter that. And then Jamie just brings sand and blows everything out of the water. I could definitely see them pulling something like that.
As I said, it's just like the last 2 weeks. They've been super reliant on the Porygon Z. Superior I can easily see coming. Mr. Mime has shown fantastic utility in a similar vein as what we said with how Tangela can do. It gets stuff like Icy Wind, Wide Guard, Follow Me. It's basically, as they said it themselves, a mini Smeargle, except from obviously not quite as good, but for the tier that it's in, it's fantastic for the pick. But also, I just quickly want to mention, I can easily see maybe Team Dreamball trying to pull off a similar situation with Drifblim, their Baton Pass, what they did. I can maybe see them trying to use that as a win condition, but honestly, I just don't see that going that well. It's switching in, whatever it was switching, I just believe Team Jamie is just going to make the right reads, and this is going to be a tight game because Team Dreamball are second, Team Jamie are third, and this is going to be a very close match. I'm going to slap the Toast Silver approval for this is going to be the game to watch this week. So next we've got the first position versus the 8th position, Team Drinking Birds versus Team Leeki. So you got Harvey, Juan, Tailwind, Jason, Ave, yourself Kabu, and the fans going Drinking Birds, whilst me and Ben is that confident to actually lock it, and we're going Team Leeki. So tell me why you think Team Dream Birds are going to win.
I think Team Drinking Birds is going to win for the same reason that I was applauding their team in the season so far video. They have incredible options for team building. You've got Sun with Darmanitan. You've got the Follow Me Belly Drum Linoon. You've got, again, the Sun with the Heliolisk. You've got Dance Dance Revolution with the Pheromosa and the Oricorio. And then you've got some very solid mons that can work in nearly all of those team archetypes with the Metagross, Mega Venusaur, Landorus Therian, one of the best doubles Pokemon, at least in my opinion. And then when you look at Leeky's team, they just, I don't know, their team seems very mishmashy. You can definitely see where they have threats, and you can definitely see where they have good support mons, but it's still that same thing where it's like with Mythical, where it's like, alright, find the glue for this team. Sylveon? Maybe?
Necrozma and my boy Rupiria. To be honestly truthful with you, I was going to go Team Drinking Birds as well, but there's sometimes my gut will just go, Leeki. And like, that's what happened with me a couple of times before. Granted, it hasn't worked with me before, but that's beside the point. We're not going to talk about that. I can honestly see Metagross, obviously, Team Leeki haven't got 100% stable answers. They got obviously the Tech Rage with Rhyperior. Magma isn't going to be an offensive threat, really, but I don't know, there's something about them I feel like are going to win, because even though they're 3-3, the wins they've had against impressive teams. They've been against teams that have been doing significantly well. That's more so my point. They seem to be doing the best when they're up against the odds. As long as they bring the right Necrozma set, because Necrozma have been very key to a lot of their wins early game, maybe nuking an answer or just being support, and then maybe bringing in something like Gyarados late game, because I can see that doing a lot of work against their team and supporting the Gyarados. I can honestly see Team Leeki winning.
I can get behind that, but again, I really just think that Drinking Birds is in such a dominant position right now, and I think that they're gonna ride this momentum that they've been getting all the way through. At least this week. They're gonna ride it through this week for sure.
That's definitely understandable. As I said, I wanted to do Team Leeki myself, Team Drinking Birds myself. I honestly feel like they will be able to win this, but as I said, sometimes you got to go with your gut feeling. You got to go with maybe what isn't the best idea and hope and pray that it does come to fruition. So next game we got Team Blue Hunnets versus Team Wee Disney. So it's the second game of the week where it's a clean sweep and everyone chosen Wee Disney. And as I said before, I said I would bring back a situation where there's another team that does have a clear-cut mode, but they're not doing that well when I talked about Team Mythical. And this is this team. They have a very solid team in the sense of the Team Jamie team, where it's a very good, well-rounded team and is a very obvious game plan, where they got obviously the slow sand mode, they got the fast psychic mode, and they got the trick room support with Oranguru. But I feel like it's been very easy to build for against other teams, and Team Wee Disney have shown, if anything, they are the best at building against teams. They know all the calcs against the mons. They seem to be omnipresent with what they're going to pick and choose the right mons themselves.
I'm going to be totally honest. Although I went with Wee Disney, I just have this feeling that this is going to be a much closer match than anybody realizes. But because of what you said, I'm giving Wee Disney the very slight edge, just enough that I'm going to vote for them. But like I said, I have a feeling this is going to be one of those down to the last mon, down to do we get this roll or not victory for Wee Disney.
So you're preying on Duncan Luck not striking. That's very, very risky for you, Kabu. I praise that immensely. But obviously Tapu Lele, big threat. But when you have two of your own Tapus, which when the first couple of weeks were rolling around, we thought they're absolute madmen while they're choosing two. But in a situation like this, they get absolute free reign of the terrain. Tapu Bulu looks in a super strong position here. Kyurem is going to be a bit of a problem, same with Rotom, but obviously you don't want to be firing overheats all the time, because then you're going to kind of have to be forced to either switch out or be suffering with a lower special attack stat. They could obviously run something like the Mental Herb, I think it is the right one, to regain their stats back, but then you're losing a crucial item on Rotom, which could be something like a Life Orb or a Healing Berry. But then Tapu Bulu is going to be able to take chunks out of Sharpedo and Hippowdon, which are big threats to him at the moment. Howlucha is a big Pokemon I can see coming with just an Unburdened Seed and just hitting stuff high jump kicks. There's nothing really that's going to take a shot a high jump kick plus an acrobatics. They can easily see like, oh, it's going to high jump kick here. Let's switch into Deoxys or Oranguru, but that's going to hit it really hard, and then next turn, because they're unburdened, just hit him with an acrobatics and just hit him super hard.
It's not Mental Herb, it's White Herb.
I knew it was something.
Yeah, I can definitely see, and that could actually also lead to a situation where the Psychic Train works against them, because there's no way really they could maybe revenge kill the Hawlucha. They don't really have much priority on their team, although the only thing I can think of off the top of my head is I believe Electivire gets Quick Attack, but still, that could still be something they bring.
Yeah, that's understandable. It's a bit niche. And it's just with Sylvalia as well, it's so hard to predict what type it's going to be. Honestly, I think it's going to be Silver Valley Dark, so you can get a lot of switch-ins for the Psychic spam that they've got, but it's just that case, like, they can think to themselves, oh, it's obvious they're going to bring Silver Valley Dark, and then they just bring something wild like Silver Valley Electric, and in an electric terrain they just start chunking stuff with the multi-attack.
Silver Valley Dark definitely is good, not only for the psychic types you mentioned, but it also does really well against the Mega Sharpedo, which can definitely be a huge threat to We Disney's team if it's left unchecked.
But I honestly see Team We Disney as the strong team builders they are. They won't leave something like that laying about.
Oh yeah, definitely.
This is everyone we've picked this week, so you can have a quick review of that. But aside from that, I think we're done here. Any last words, Kabu?
No, nothing I can think of. Just, everybody make sure that you comment down below what you think about the previews and the pick'ems. Who do you think has the best picks for this week? Who is an absolute madman? That's probably going to be me for locking Juice, but maybe somebody else has faith in Juice like I do. Make sure that you guys like the video, comment, all of that good stuff.
And on that note, thank you guys ever so much for watching. We'll be back this time next week for the preview and pick'ems, and we'll see you guys next time.